Yes, guys, so I'm just going to make the second video right after the first one. And so I wanted to speak a little bit on Kyrie Irving and Kanye West. I mean, if you don't know what's going on in regards to the anti-words that has been labeled upon them, then I guess you live under a rock because or maybe you're just not on social media, you don't watch the news. So I take that back. You do not live under a rock. You probably just don't watch the news or follow, you know, the things of the world, like some of us would say, right? I wanted to speak a little on in regards to that, just surface, not too deep. And surface, I say surface because this is a really deep conversation, deeper than most of us think, especially us in the melanated community. A couple years ago, when I came into my understanding and I and I stopped following religion. I'll just give a little brief scenario on myself. I was a Christian, and I was heavy in the Christian faith, very heavy, too, so much heavy that I was a women's ministry leader. And so I wanted to be so good of a Christian for God and Jesus. I wanted to be able to, I had a passion, right? Passion. I was very passionate about becoming that good servant. So I started to study the word. I picked up the Bible. No, I would go to church, go in the afternoon, whatever time, whatever that was going on, I was there. I was devoted. But I wanted to be more. There was that song that I liked. I want to be more than an ordinary Christian. And so I wanted to be more. So I decided to take the Bible up at my own time and study. So I went deep into the Bible. I started to study. And as I read, I came across some names, times, places, and I decided, and then I researched the times, the places. I found videos, on the times and places, and then one of the times and places that I think one of the first times and places in the book that raised my awareness that something was off was the four rivers in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden. I don't remember the name. I know Eparatus, Pison. I forgot the other two, but that was the one of the first things in the Bible that brought me to research a little more. So the four rivers in the Garden of Eden. I hate to do this video now because I had a video where I had explained this so well. I did do some more research and I discussed it. I had the names down, the rivers, and but I'll do the video nevertheless, right? Because one thing about me again is when I'm saying something to someone, I like to be able to give you time, place, names, people, these things. So that's why I feel like I'm feeling a little lost here because I don't have the paper that I wrote down, the history on that part. But I'll give you what I can from my head, right? If you can follow, you can. If not, maybe I will go in depth and do something a little bit more deep. So that's why I said it's kind of surface. So in the four rivers that was named in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, when I did the research on that, what I found was that the four rivers were located in Africa. So as a black woman who reads the Bible, who has followed the Bible, who's understanding of the Bible, who has a Caucasian as my savior, I was like, okay, why is the four rivers in Africa, but it's not mentioned? Why is it called Eden? And what does that represent, the word Eden? What does Adam and Eve represent as the progenitors of the whole earth? You know, all these were the questions that I had, and I think they were logical questions. You know, people always say, don't ask question God, don't just take what it is for what it is. God is not, he's superior. God don't do things the way you do, but yet still in the same word. The Bible will tell you, you are in the image and likeness, and you are alike to the Creator. And so these things are like in my head, like, okay, so if I am in the likeness of the Creator, and if I am a representation in the flesh of the Creator, because I am part of what is the Creator. Yeah, how is it that I cannot ask questions like the four rivers and the location of the four rivers if I find that the location is in Africa? And why is it that if it's located in Africa, why is it not mentioned in the Bible? And why is it called Eden in the Bible? And so the next was Adam and Eve, right? So Adam and Eve was, not the progenitors. They were I forgot the word, but they were let's just say the ancestors, right? They're the ones who they're the ones responsible for our existence. And then I'm looking at these two white people, but I am brown skin, and I see a lot more darker skin than mine. And so, of course, I have to question that as a black woman, not black, but melanated woman. Why is it that God, in all the books, has the angels? Why are they of that particular color? And I'm not of that particular color. And so, of course, I start to study a little harder. I start to look into genetics, because the Bible, Genesis means genetics, and then the Bible given me a genetics that is not mine. The answers that is in the Bible and the genetics that is given me, it is not mine. There is no way that my genetics and the genetics that Adam and Eve came from lines up with mine. So what's going on here? And of course, I continue to dig, and I got into epigenetics, and of course, the answers lied in epigenetics. In epigenetics, I found out that the human race is one, as much as they like to tell you that there are races many, but there's not many races. There are two different bloodlines, but they are one human race. The two different bloodlines is the separation of the melanated bloodline and the Caucasian bloodline. And I'm not going to get into how that came about, but I will just continue on the fact that they are two different bloodlines. And the reason why I can say that they are two different bloodlines based on epigenetics, that's all they have recorded. They don't have race recorded. They have bloodlines recorded. And so because DNA tells you where your bloodline. It doesn't tell you about your race. It tells you about your bloodline, and the bloodline, it will tell you that you're from the melanated bloodline, or it will tell you that you're from a Caucasian bloodline, or it will tell you that you have both of that bloodline in you. So as a Christian, it just opened more doors and more doors to want to know more. And as I continue to study, the more I studied, not just the Bible, but on epigenetics, especially epigenetics, Africa, some of the kings and various places that were named in Africa. I came across so much information that I couldn't, as a melanated woman, just sit there and say, I am a Christian anymore. I couldn't do that because the truth that was in front of me, there is no way I could sit down and say to myself that, hey, I am a Christian. I couldn't do that because there was too much truth in front of me. So I continue to search, and I am still searching, because truth never comes to an end. There's so much to be discovered. But I found enough to realize that I have been lied to. Yes, lied to. Mati. In Creole, we say mati, meaning lies. Once I realized that we as African people were lied to, and not just African people, Europeans were lied to as well, because sometimes when we say that, we were lied to, we have to keep in mind that everybody were lied to. The powers there be that control the system, it is their job to implement certain systems. It's their job to implement it at a certain time. It's their job to change it at a certain time. It's their job. They do it. You, on the other hand, you have to follow. And if you don't follow in past times, you would die. Whether you black, white, or whatever, you would die. So I would say I would make disclaimer that it's not just us that was misled. Many of the people that like you, hustling and bustling, going about their little business, they too were lied to, right? So, but this is about me as a melanated woman. This is about you as a melanated person. We were lied to, so I'm going to keep it in that format. We were lied to. So once I found out that I was lied to as a Christian, and who I am as I am an African woman, and not even so much of an African, I would say, because even the name African is not ours. It doesn't belong to us. I am more so a spiritual being, a being that is connected to the source of this, what is God. And I don't need a mediator to connect me, because I'm connected by DNA. Once I found that out, I had no interest in continuing on the path of becoming that best Christian. So I cut ties with that, and I start to look more into my African spirituality. And thus far, I have not felt any need to do anything otherwise. I am, like I said, on the quest of learning more of who I am, but as to me going back to where I was, no. I cannot do that, because once your eyes is open to truth, you cannot go back to sleep. It doesn't work like that. So in the Kyrie Irving and the Kanye West situation, it is similar. It is similar. You see two men who are standing strong. The difference between them is the money, right? They are working and the checks are signed by the powers they be. That's the difference between Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, and me. I don't have to when I speak, I have to be careful with what I say, because I'm on the platform of a wish, right? I'm on a platform where, we live in a world where we don't control nothing. We are not in control of nothing other than our day-to-day, go out, eat, drink, sleep, wake up. And I will hear some black people say, well, I'm not a slave. I get up, I feed myself, I cook for myself, I eat what I want, I put what I want. But what they don't understand is that in all of that, go outside your building, right? And ask 20 people in your building to go outside and stand outside with you. 20 people, maybe not even 20, just 10. Just 10 people from your building. Ask them to go outside. Call them out. Say, let's go sit on the stoop. Let's hang out. And just have a good time. Put a little boombox out and sit there and have a little time. And you will see how long it will take before the cops come and shut you down. So then you will say, I'm not a slave. I do what I want. I don't. Go in certain places and just walk around and just keep walking around and keep walking around in that certain place. And you will see if somebody not going to approach you and ask you, what are you doing there? Go in a certain neighborhood and get out of your car, walk up and down that neighborhood where people can see you, and just look at the looks that you're gonna get. I mean, there's countless things that I can say that as much as people will sit there and say, well, I am not a slave, I'm free, I do what I want to do. Well, when your check hit your account, how much did you work for? You work for maybe $20 an hour, $25 an hour. How much is missing from your check? How much is missing from that check that you didn't spend a penny from it yet? Do you even have a choice to say that I don't want this amount of money off my check? Do you even have the choice? No, you don't. You have the choice to go vote who you want to vote for. Yeah, you have a choice not to vote if you don't. But you don't have a choice when it comes to that money hitting your bank account from your employer on the books. That is, on the books. You don't have a choice when that money hit your account and half of it is missing. You can't even call nobody and say, but why you take so much? Why? You can't even make that call. You can't ask no questions. You just got to take what is sent to you. So take your child. Another analogy. Take your child out of your neighborhood and go to a different neighborhood and put the child in this school without permission from the powers they be, the system. Just go there and put your child and see if they're going to take your child. Ask them. Say, I live in this area code, but I want my child in that area code. Just go there and ask them and see if it's going to be like, oh, it's a breeze. Yeah, you can bring the child. No, you gotta jump. They might take the child, but you definitely have to jump to some hoops. You definitely have to come up with some papers for that child to be in that school. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much things that I could say that if you don't follow that order, right? There's so many things that if you do not follow in that order, there will be repercussions for you. So let's come back to the Kyrie Irving and the Kanye West. So we're talking about order. Now, some might say, well, you know what, I don't care about the men have their money, they don't care about us, they when they were on top, they did all kind of, But one thing I will say to us as, melanated people, right? The Kyrie Irvings and the Kanye Wests is still us. Whether they're rich, whether they sold their soul, whether they signed on the devil's line, they sold their blood, they gave their mother up, or their sibling up, or whatever they did sacrifice, they still us. Why are they still us? The actions that are being taken against them is a representation of what and how they still treat us. So as much as you might want to say that, oh well, I don't give a about this guys. They when they were making their money, where were they? Did they know me? Would they know your name? No, they don't know your name. Neither do they have to. Neither do they care to. That's just the way it is. Because if you are the making your money, would you know my name? Would you know that? Whose name would you know? You do what you have to do, right? Would you give the whole world? Would you change the whole world? No, you wouldn't. You change what you can. You'd give who you want to, and that's what it is. We are always quick to say, well, they never did nothing for me, but put yourself in their shoes. Would you do something for us? How many people would you do things for? How many can you do things for? But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make here is this. The Kyrie Irvings and the Kanye West today is a representation of us. And how is that? They're showing you that when Kyrie Irving and Kanye West step out of line, when Kyrie Irving and Kanye West try to say, hey, well, I read something like Andrea did, which I did. I put the Bible down and I picked up a research and I picked up a history and I found some things that was suspect. I found something that did not align with the truth that I was being told. And I have a right to say that this is what I found out, and hey, I am no longer going to support what you told me. And because I'm no longer going to support what you told me, I am going to support what I find out. And this is the Kyrie Irvings and Kanye West's idea. This is exactly what it is. They found things, they knew things, they heard things, and I've always watched and listened to certain songs. Even Beyonce have songs. Her last album, not that one, the last one with You Won't Break My Soul, even that album has an undertone. If you listen to it well, You Won't Break My Soul. I'm telling everybody, if you listen to that, you'll understand that. Because one thing about our people, one thing we do is to express our pain in song, in music, and that's something not black, but melanated people, we have always done. We have always expressed our pain, our sorrows, our love, our happiness in music and dance. So when you hear songs like You Won't Break My Soul, you might think she's telling you it's about the VV, about the IV, but you may not realize that she's trying to tell you about the entire operation of what that was trying to go down. And hence is why I'm saying that when you hear these people speak, you want to lock into your own, well, that person is rich, beyond rich. They made their choice. They knew what they were doing. They signed on the dotted line. Like, if somebody come to you, you sing some crappy song, somebody come to you, like Kanye West said, he sell his soul for a happy meal and a crappy deal. You want fame. Well, not all of us. Some of us that know and understand may not go for it. But back then, you don't understand. You don't know. You get. Somebody tell you sign on the dotted line. You're making 50 million a year. Listen, you're like, excuse me, where's the pen? Where's the paper? What do I need to do? Do I need to somersault? Hello and thank you. So a lot of us will sit there and will judge, but put us in the seat and see how fast you're going to sign that paper. But again, this is not about that, but this is just the truth about us human beings. We always judge people. We always see their faults. We are not open to say, well, okay, you know what? They effed up. You really effed up. But maybe you're trying to redeem yourself. Maybe you see the errors of your ways. But it's in us as, melanated people, us, we don't see that. We don't have that understanding of when someone is trying to lift their head up above the waters, the murky waters that they have created for themselves. We want to push them back under the murky water. Stay there. Go back there because that's where you belong. That's where you did that. You need to stay there. That brings me back to the Willie Lynch syndrome type mentality. It's like no forgiveness. You effed up. You continue continue to F up. No retreat, no surrender for you. No, how do you say that? No forgiveness for you, because you messed up. You messed up badly, and we are not going to take you back. I am not in any way in defense of Kanye West or Kyrie Irving. I am just being realistic. These people don't owe us nothing. If they give, if they did something, if they share, that is their choice to do so. It is not, they don't owe me and you to share their money with us. It is up to them to do so if they so willingly choose to. The other thing I will say is this. As melanated human beings, we have to be more open to understanding that this is not also, right? More like, or I'll say rather also, this is not so much so about Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. It's not about the fact, this is not about the fact that they are stars, quote unquote, but rather they are going through, and the powers there be, one is being, it's being enlarged. If you did not know who the powers there be are, then now you do. Because one of the things that I came into when I was doing my study out of Christianity, I recognized who the top powers there be were. I recognize in the Bible, along with the Bible and my research, I recognize who the powers there be are. I recognize who pulled the strings, who is doing what. Out of my research, I came to that knowledge. So, out of the mouth of Kanye West, he's saying to you, this is what's going on. So you think it's going on with him and it ain't going on with you. So you're like, oh, please, you put yourself there, you deal with your problems. But guess what he's trying to tell you? He's trying to tell you that this is not just the powers there be over me. This is the powers there be over you also. And so, guys, with this being said, my video is in 27 minutes. I have to cut it out here because then it's going to just go into overflow. Not overflow, but it will go into mute. My recording will be muted after 30 minutes when I upload it. So there's a lot more I want to say on this subject, but I will make another video, and I will be more prepared to bring out some presentation in regards to this. This is kind of like all over the place, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So much love from me to you always, and I will talk to you again soon.